I don't know if you've been watching the news, but by my count, there have been 2 disasters lately. So let's all just chill out and wait for the third one we all know is coming. Hi everyone, Julian here for D-News. Have you ever noticed misfortune tends to come in groups of 3? Celebrity deaths, natural disasters, and personal problems all seem to come in triplicate. Surely there must be a scientific explanation for the pattern. Well, there is. And that explanation is, there is no pattern. It's just you. It's not the universe ticking through some equation that occasionally spits out grief in bunches. It's that you want to see a pattern in random information. The phenomenon is called Apophenia, and humans are guilty of it all the time. Part of the reason we're the most dominant species on the planet is because we see patterns and exploit them to our advantage. That's a great skill when it helps us derive some truth, and a real problem when it deludes us. The examples I like are math and astrology. A mathematical equation is really just a description of a pattern, and it can be used to accurately predict a specific outcome, whereas astrology is combining random information into a perceived pattern, and it only makes vague predictions that can't really be tested. So why is it that, despite my insistence, I haven't killed astrology yet? Well, the reason epiphanies are so persistent is because another human flaw: confirmation bias. We don't just see patterns, we see the patterns we want, and we ignore information that doesn't obey our pet theory. English psychologist Peter Wasson first demonstrated this in the 60s with an experiment. He told participants that the numbers 2, 4, and 6 satisfied some rule he had in his mind, and then invited them to suggest 3 other numbers to try and figure out the rule. Most people only gave even ascending numbers, and when they were told those numbers followed Wasson's rule, they concluded that that was the pattern. But it wasn't. Wasson's only rule was the numbers had to increase, but they could be even, odd, positive, negative, integers, or fractions. Most people didn't suggest a pattern they thought might be wrong, though. They only tested answers they were already sure fit. In other words, they only tried to confirm their bias. Then there's our affinity for the number 3 in Western cultures. Christianity's deities comes in 3 forms, satisfying lists of examples have 3 things, but numbers have different significances in different cultures. In China, the number 4 is bad luck because it sounds a lot like the word for death, and that's true in both Mandarin and Cantonese. So some Chinese hotels and hospitals don't have floors or rooms labeled with numbers ending in 4. When you combine our Western preference for trilogies with the human tendency for apophenia and confirmation bias, you get the belief that bad things come in 3s. The truth is, bad things happen all the time. Sometimes they come in 3s, yes, but sometimes they come by themselves, or in 2s, or 5s. If your rules are loose enough, you could correctly say that tragedy is constant. On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0. How tragic is that? Notice in the intro, I didn't explicitly list 2 disasters that had just happened. I figured you can watch this video at any time and 2 recent events will immediately spring to mind. I know that's not a cheerful thought, but look at it this way. Great things are happening all the time too. The only reason you're not hearing about it is because bad news drives up ratings. So when the universe dishes out bad luck on a personal or grand scale, do what you can to make the situation better for yourself or those affected, and know that 2 more probably aren't around the corner just because of some mystical rule of 3s. Unfortunately, at the time we shot this, there was a massive earthquake in Nepal. I encourage you to do what you can to help, and if you want to learn more, Julie's got an explainer on the science of it over here.
The Indian plate subducts or is sliding beneath the other plate and moves north 2 inches a year. This builds up enormous amounts of pressure. When all that pressure is released, it can mean disaster.
Are there any other superstitions you think are actually scientifically sound? Let us know in the comments, and I'll see you next time on D-News. Don't forget to subscribe.